Hey, this is Brent Leary, and it's another time for This Week in Small Business, brought to you by Small Biz Trends. And if you see me and Larry McCabe, typically means we're at some kind of function, event, conference. And here we are, Oracle Open
Yet
World.
again.
We're back in San Francisco
Yes.
for Oracle Open World, but it's always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right, so we got a couple of minutes to talk about some of the things, some of the great articles that came out on Small Biz Trends this week. I feel like we're in like this really cool, easygoing jazz music flowing in the
Yes,
background.
it's very
Yeah.
settling for me.
Although there's like 60,000 people at this
Yeah, a
conference,
lot of people.
they're not here right now.
A lot of
So
people, a lot going on, but I think the Oracle part is wrapped up, right?
yeah,
For the most part.
it's wrapped up, and so let's get wrapped up in a couple of articles. All right, so the first one is from Michael Gouda, and this is just I want to get your opinion on this
Mm-hmm.
stat that came out of this. It's around 73% say that they've made purchases as a result of some piece of content marketing. 73%.
I know, I know. Well, it would be interesting to know how they ask the question, but I think that, you know, all of us, whether in consumer or business space, we're doing more and more searching and information gathering and stuff like that on our own before we even decide maybe who to contact or what to buy or anything like that. So we want to self-educate ourselves, and I think that looking, we're all going to go out, we're going to search for things if we're considering any kind of major purchase. The question is, though, really at the end of the day, is this content valuable? Is it useful? Because I think, honestly, there's so much noise out there. And really, sadly, a lot of marketing drivel. But when you do find something that's actually useful, that helps you either understand something better or understand considerations for that purchase better, or maybe how to evaluate different suppliers, it can be really helpful. So I'm not surprised, but probably it's not a huge percentage of the content that actually drives people this way.
I would say I think it depends on what the thing they're buying too is,
Absolutely.
because I'm sure the probably the more pricier, maybe the form of content plays a role in whether they're actually basing the purchase off the content. So maybe if it's a really cool picture of a sports car, I don't know if that's enough to make me want to
No,
buy
no, I
it.
think it has to be either a complicated or an
Yes,
expensive purchase. You have to have something on the line
right.
before you invest a lot of time. But if you're going to buy, I know we just, we moved into a new house and bought a new big screen TV and speakers and I don't know things I don't really subwoofers, whatever. But there was definitely a lot of research that went into that before deciding what to buy.
Yeah. All right. Good one. The next one. All right. I can't get away from always having a subject that Amazon is involved in for
Yes,
some reason.
yes.
But here it is again, and this one is from Amy Pylon, and it's 10 tips for creating repeat customers like Amazon. All right, so Amazon does a lot of stuff,
Oh yeah.
and they do a lot of things that keep people buying. I mean, I looked, and it's really easy for you to do. You can go and look at your order history, and I can see like the very first thing I bought off of Amazon, a book. It was on Adobe Photoshop or something like that,
Wow.
1997. I don't know
That's
anybody,
insane.
but I don't know anybody at Amazon specifically working there. I have not made a big time relationship with somebody at Amazon, but yet and still, I've bought things from this site for 21 years, going from books to computers to like thousands of dollars for just one purchase item. So what is a big
Well, I
takeaway
mean,
from that?
we all love convenience, right?
Yeah.
And I think really the reason Amazon's been so successful is whatever they're selling, they're making it easier for us to buy. So if you're a business, that you have to keep that front and center, that you can't have friction in the purchase process, or people will buy it elsewhere, and there's very few things that people cannot buy elsewhere.
Right.
If you're already selling on Amazon, which a lot of small businesses do, it's another channel, but of course it's not as profitable as when you sell direct. So, one idea would be to wean people once they buy off, but when you fulfill, you send them coupons that if they go to your website and buy, they're going to get, loyalty, they're going to get points, or, whatever you're going to do. And the other thing I think too is, Amazon, all the reviews and ratings, there's a lot of helpful stuff for people to determine, is this thing going to be right for them?
Right.
Is it really going to take years off of your wrinkles or whatever? So I think having information and videos and stuff so people can kind of see the product in action and understand more about what it is and how it works, that's good.
Yeah, and I'll just say, I think the smartest thing they ever did was create Amazon Prime membership.
Oh yeah.
And they tie it to a real basic thing that we want, which is we want to get our stuff as quickly as we can. And we want to depend on, if you say you're going to get it to us, you get it to us.
Right.
And tying that to a membership, I think, is one of the smartest things for customer loyalty.
Absolutely. I mean, I just had another interesting experience that relates to that. We ordered a bunch of stuff from a store that specializes in all kinds of household container and storage items. The order was mixed up. The order was, it took like a month by the time everything got done to get these drawer dividers and shelves and whatever. And I was like, maybe I wouldn't have had as big a selection, but I probably should have just gone on Amazon.
So there you go. Tie a loyalty program to a specific need that people have, which is make sure they get this stuff when they're supposed to get this stuff. That's like a good start.
Right.
All right, the last one. This is like I'm just gonna, we don't have to go too deep into this, but pros and cons of accepting cash versus not accepting cash.
Well, if you're a brick and mortar retailer, I think you want to accept cash. Yes, it's a little harder. You're going to have to track it in terms of your books and your taxes and all that. But my thing is, let the customer pay the way they want to pay.
Yeah.
So like I said, it does create a little bit of an accounting extra work. But do you want to lose business? I'm always amazed. Sometimes I go into somewhere, it could be a restaurant or a store, and some people, I'll see them roll off a couple $100. You really don't want to not get that money.
What about from does it raise any additional flags if you're an all cash business for IRS or something like that?
Well, if you're all cash, it probably does. And my thing, and I don't think all cash is good either. Like I said, I think it should be let the customer choose how they want to pay.
Yeah.
And the other thing with cash is, a lot of vendors offer cash discounts. Even gas stations.
Yeah.
This is the cash price. This is the credit card price because you're paying the credit card company money.
Right. Yeah, percentage.
Now, obviously, if you're B2B, you're probably not accepting cash from other businesses, but then the whole thing of, I'd rather get paid by HCH or direct deposit instead of taking credit cards because, again, you're giving part of what you made to Amex or Visa.
Yeah, I think when you're in a restaurant business, or like I said, getting gas.
Yeah.
If you give a discount and that will get you, less transaction fees and more overall revenue, makes sense to me.
Right. And I've also seen some service people use that as, if you can pay me upfront in cash, I'll come in more quickly. So it depends how you use it, but I would say beware the IRS. You do not want to mess with them.
All right, so we got to get back to, she's got to get back to conference. I'm getting ready to hit the
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I'm getting home. But once again, check out all the articles. There are lots of good stuff. We only touched on a couple of them. Check them all out at smallbiztrends.com, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to make sure you see these videos, subscribe. You'll get a notification when they go up, and we're both happy about that. All right. So until the next time, Sprint Leary, thanks again to Laura McCabe, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks.